From one of the greatest arenas you'll ever find, the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. This is Indiana University men's basketball on WIUX Sports. Andrew Hilsman, that's Nick Rodecap. Nick, what a treat it is to be able to be at this amazing arena.
It is a privilege, Andrew, to be with you on this Sunday afternoon. Such a historic time in college athletics, and no program embodies that more than Indiana. Darren DeVries, an early test for this basketball team, and a lot of Hoosier fans have made the trip to this historic venue. So many stories inside this building, and Indiana has a chance to write one for itself this afternoon.
Indiana looked very, very comfortable in their opening game against Alabama A&M. They looked like no Indiana team that we've really ever seen before. The ability to shoot the three, to spread the ball around, and most of all, play fast is very encouraging for Indiana fans.
The defensive intensity is something that Darren DeVries has preached to this team. He's told the fans, he said, hey, we're going to play with high effort at all times. We're going to play with pride representing Indiana University in this storied program. The fans loved it. It's exciting. They shoot a lot of threes, but one concern for Indiana is the size. They don't have a true post player. Now, we saw Sam Alexis. He shined 17 points off the bench for Indiana against Alabama A&M. But Marquette presents a much steeper challenge. Head coach Shaka Smart has led them to the NCAA tournament pretty much every single year, it seems like. It seems like they're always contenders in the Big East. This will be a great test to see what Indiana's made of early.
The last time these two teams met, it was in Assembly Hall when Romeo Langford put up 22 points. Marquette had Sam and Joey Hauser score 18, along with Marcus Howard put up 18. Marcus Howard is the all-time Marquette Golden Eagles scoring leader. Well, as we're introducing starting lineups, we'll introduce them to you as well. Indiana, the designated away team in this matchup. Their guard trio of Lamar Wilkerson, Connor Enright, and Tayton Connerway will take the floor in the two forwards, Reed Bailey and Tucker DeVries.
And for Tucker DeVries, he doesn't play like a forward. Now, DeVries stands at 6'7", so on paper he is a forward, but he almost plays like a guard. He shoots from outside, he can handle the ball up top. He's been really impressive to watch, and I guess one sort of barometer is that West Virginia fans were really upset when he left. That's generally a measure that a player is really good, but this Marquette starting lineup, they're all homegrown players, and Shaka Smart has got a great starting five on the floor today.
The guards, Chase Ross, Zaid Lowry, and Sean Jones, and then the forwards, Ben Gold and Caden Hamilton. Shaka Smart has only recruited 4 transfers in the 5 years he's been with Marquette.
And he's been very successful doing it. He's tied for the second fastest Marquette head coach to 100 wins. He accomplished that with a 100-82 win over Southern. Marquette struggled a little bit early in that game, but they got going in the second half. And oh, by the way, who did Shaka Smart tie for getting to 100 wins in 141 games? He tied none other than Tom Crean, who is the color analyst for ESPN today. Crean, I'm sure this is very special for him. These are two teams that he made his mark on as a head coach.
Well, the lower bowl here at the United Center almost completely full. The second level, much like the first. The lights are back on. We've introduced starting lineups. The officials for today's game, Ron Groover, Bert Smith, and Lamar Simpson. Indiana in their crimson uniforms with white lettering and white accents. Marquette will be wearing their gold uniforms with navy blue lettering and numbers. Indiana will be moving left to right in your mind's eye. Marquette the other way, right to left. 20 minutes on the clock for the first half from one of the greatest arenas in basketball lore. The greats of the greats have played here. Jordan, Pippen in the rafters. On the hockey side, the Blackhawks, one of the most storied franchises, an Original Six franchise in the National Hockey League today. This fabled arena houses Indiana and Marquette in a marquee early season matchup in the Waterkeeper Alliance Invitational. We are so thrilled to be with you here on 99.1 WIUX Sports, wherever you may be listening from. It's a joy to have you with us. Reed Bailey and Caden Hamilton will match up in the center circle to get us going. And the tip is won by the Golden Eagles. It'll be controlled off the tip by Sean Jones. Here we go, first half in the United Center. Sean Jones moves right to left, falls over, and he's on the ground inside the three-point arc. He gets called for a travel, an early turnover for Marquette. It's Indiana ball with 19:50 to go in the first half.
Well, Sean Jones, eager to get back on the floor, I'm sure. He's been sidelined for quite an extended period of time. Finally healthy, finally ready to go for the Golden Eagles, but out of the gates, perhaps a little bit too hot.
Marquette looks to press. The inbound comes from DeVries to Tatum Connerway at center court. Will go up to the left side and get over half court as he's guarded by Sean Jones. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Connerway quarterbacks the offense, gives to Lamar Wilkerson, right wing. He's being pressed quickly by Chase Ross. Kicks it out to DeVries, a long straightaway three. Oh, yeah! 3-0 Hoosiers with 30 seconds into this ball game. Marquette moving the other way. This is Chase Ross in the left side corner. He gets picked up by DeVries, moves towards the top, loses the ball, but instead Hamilton picks it right back up. Chase Ross thinks about a three left wing, dishes off to Caden Hamilton, who loses the ball and is fouled.
Good defensive presence there for Indiana in the paint, but just a little bit too handsy underneath. And they got Reed Bailey, and it's the depth for Indiana is going to be tested, I think, in this game, Andrew, because the Hoosiers have had injury troubles early this season. They don't have a very deep bench, so you absolutely cannot get into early foul trouble.
First free throw is through and good for Caden Hamilton, who was 10 for 19 in the 29 games he played off of the bench last year. Had 12 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist in Marquette's game earlier in the week against Southern. And his second free throw on the way, also good. 3-2 the Indiana lead, 19-18 left to go in the first half. Full court press is on again for Marquette as Tatum Connerway has some space to move. He gets it across the timeline. 20 seconds on the shot clock. He'll take stock of the offense, kicks it to the right corner. Tucker DeVries, another three, banks way long and left. And it's Zay Lowry who gets moving the other way. Cuts down the lane, steps, goes over Enright. He misses his layup, and the rebound falls to Reed Bailey. Hoosiers with the basketball a minute into this first half. Connerway gets picked up at midcourt by Lowry. Goes through his legs, looks to the left, dump off pass to Reed Bailey on the right side block, stops up, kicks it out. Left wing three from Enright is no good off the left iron. And picking up the rebound is the New Zealander Ben Gold. Moving the other way quickly on a drive and stuffed. We had a whistle. It'll go out of bounds. Some contact between, it looked like Enright and Sean Jones right as they got across midcourt, and Reed Bailey already picks up his second foul on Chase Ross's layup attempt.
It was Enright trying to come up the floor, and it looked like a moving screen from Caden Hamilton. Enright crashed into him, went to the floor, no call. And then on the other end, Reed Bailey gets whistled for his second foul, and we're less than 2 minutes into this game. Sam Alexis getting ready to come in.
Chase Ross, the senior guard out of Dallas, Texas, is good on his first. We are tied at 3. Sam Alexis will check into this game in place of Bailey, who, like we just said, already up to 2 fouls. Have to be careful with a guy like that, especially with the depth issues that Indiana has right now, getting in foul trouble early. Second free throw on the way from from Ross is good. He was a 75% free throw shooter last year, good on both. Marquette has the lead 4-3. Tucker DeVries in the backcourt for Indiana, kicks it towards the top. It's Connerway. Connerway all the way to the right corner, and a whistle. And a 10-second violation. Indiana too slow getting it across the timeline. Marquette has the basketball. 18:25 to go first half.
DeVries and Connerway were working back and forth to try to get it across the timeline, and I don't think they realized how quickly they were running out of time. The ball got across half court at 21 seconds. The problem is it was not caught by Lamar Wilkerson until 19 seconds, an early turnover for Indiana.
It'll be Chase Ross on the trigger from the far side of the court. He was a preseason All-Big East first-teamer, shooting 60% from the field. He'll drive on the left side, layup no good. Trying to come in on the rebound is Hamilton, but it goes the way of the Hoosiers. Bounce pass, cross court to Alexis. On the right side wing, it comes out to DeVries. One touch pass. On the left wing, it's Connerway. Connerway picked up by Gold, feeds Alexis in the low block on the left side. 17 seconds on the shot clock. Kick out Wilkerson into the corner. Enright passes up along 2, gives it to DeVries, who drives in the paint now. Left corner, left wide open for 3. Rimming in and out is an attempt from Wilkerson. Alexis on the offensive board. His second attempt misses. Ben Gold picks up the board. Marquette 1-point lead, 2 minutes into the game. Chase Ross gives right off. It's off to Parham, or rather now it's Chase Ross right top of the key, and he'll reset with Sean Jones. Marquette takes their time. Zay Lowry gives it to Caden Hamilton on the left wing. Inside the three-point arc, he gets picked up by Sam Alexis. Ross with space, left elbow. One-touch pass towards the paint to Hamilton, but it slips through his legs and goes out of bounds with 17 and a half to go in the first half.
Ross and Hamilton were trying to work the two-man game right there. Ross tried a no-look backwards bounce pass to Hamilton. Hamilton was cutting along the baseline. The problem is he went to his left. The ball was passed back to his right, and so it trickled out of bounds near the corner.
Indiana scoreless on their last 4 field goal attempts. And this press from Marquette has looked really solid thus far.
Already forcing Indiana into 1 10-second violation, and right now they've got 4 players in the front court. Or excuse me, in Indiana's backcourt, as it were. Marquette's offensive front court.
Tucker DeVries will inbound. Marquette has a 4-3 lead, 17:31 to go in the first half. DeVries will get the ball at his own baseline, looking for an inbound and a whistle. Looks like a foul off the ball before the inbound. That one will get charged to Adrian Stevens, the freshman guard. It was Connor Enright tried to come off a screen at midcourt, and now they'll try again. DeVries, running out of time, has to chuck this one up at half court. It's to Enright. Now Wilkerson goes up, reverse off the glass, and he scores! And one for Lamar Wilkerson. My goodness. A 3-point play on the way for the Sam Houston State transfer on an acrobatic layup. Indiana has the lead.
And we were talking about the full court pressure from Marquette right there. The problem is, if you get beat, good job by Enright getting the ball up the floor. Wilkerson was cherry picking back there. He was all alone. And so he was able to get underneath the basket, and then the defender had no choice but to foul him. Wilkerson went underneath, laid it up and under, got fouled, sent to the deck, and made the basket, and right there he converts on the 3-point play.
Wilkerson, an 82% free throw shooter last year at Sam Houston State. Marquette moving the other way. Gold tries a long 3 and misses everything. And the Indiana fans in attendance, of which there are plenty, serenade him with some air ball chants. 6-4, the Hoosiers lead, 17:20 to go in the first half from Chicago, Illinois. DeVries will be the inbound. He's guarded by Royce Parham, and he gets it out to Tatum Conaway. Indiana moving left to right in their red uniforms. Conaway gets it over the timeline, has some space, drives in, kicks it out to Alexis, who banks it off the glass for 2 points. Indiana has the 8-4 lead. Alexis, his first 2 points of the day. Other way, this is Sean Jones, whistled for a foul. Rather, the foul go on Connor Enright of Indiana as he tried to play defense on the junior guard of Sean Jones.
And you see Indiana, Reed Bailey on the bench with 2 fouls. Enright picks up his first, and it looks like he'll go to the bench. So in comes Trent Sisley for the Hoosiers.
So some height on the floor in Trent Sisley, the true freshman, along with the Florida transfer Sam Alexis. Sisley, a guy that Indiana fans, rightfully so, are very excited about as a true freshman. Chase Ross, the inbound, gets it up to Caden Hamilton. He'll pick up his dribble, gets it poked away by Conaway, and will reset with 17 on the shot clock. Looks towards the right wing, finds Chase Ross. Ross moves inside, gets pushed to the ground by Wilkerson, and Wilkerson will pick up a foul.
See a lot of Marquette players hitting the deck early in this one, but right there, Wilkerson, I think, either hip checked or kind of gave him a little shove to the floor. As we get a look on the replay, it looked like a pretty clear-cut foul.
Yeah, a little left arm push right there from Wilkerson. That'll be his first foul. Chase Ross, the inbound on the far side of the court. It's a give and go from him to Parham. Ross with some space at the left elbow, gives it off to Parham, who moves low and now sets a screen for his teammate in Lowry. And Lowry, rather, that's Nigel James Jr., tries a shot. And Trent Sisley's whistled for a foul. It'll be 2 shots for the freshman Nigel James.
So this is becoming a concerning trend because we talked about Indiana's depth being so limited. That's already Indiana's 5th team foul, and we're barely 3 minutes in. That is going to be something to keep an eye on for the rest of this first half. Marquette could be shooting a lot of free throws.
Nigel James is first, spends a lot of time on the orange circle, and then falls through the right side of it. 8-5, the Indiana lead, 16:43 to go here in the first half of play in Chicago. James, a highly touted prospect, the number 3 player in all of New York by 24/7 Sports in this last class. His second free throw is good, so it's a 2-point advantage for the Hoosiers. As Tucker DeVries will try and get this started. The Indiana offense has not been able to figure out a ton breaking through this full court press. Wilkerson gets picked up by Zayd Lowry. He gets it over the timeline with 23 seconds on the shot clock to work. Looking left, Conaway's not there. He'll pick up his dribble right at the timeline, and Alexis gets his hand poked by Hamilton. Alexis, dribble handoff to Conaway on the right wing. Looks towards the basket, hop step on the low right block, goes up for a shot. It's Sufty, gets his own board, and pushed to the ground eventually by, I think it was Zaid Lowry who committed that foul. It'll be a foul on the floor. Yep, Zaid Lowry is whistled for his first foul. 16-18 to go in the first half. 8-6 the Hoosier advantage. It'll be an inbound on the baseline on the near side for Tatum Conaway. Looks out to the top of the key and gets it into Sam Alexis at the right wing. Alexis fakes a handoff, has some room to work. Now he'll give it right off to Sisley, who almost loses it. Good hands from Parham. Conaway looking right, picks up his dribble. DeVries is next to him, has to get it out to Sam Alexis straight away. 3 seconds. Wilkerson, left block, step back, long two, misses left. And Marquette with the board with a chance to tie or take the lead. Chase Ross moving down the court. Dribble, step, and a whistle. Foul on the ground, and that will take us to the first media timeout of the day. Indiana with a 2-point lead. It's 8-6. Tatum Conaway whistled for that foul. That his first. We'll head to a break. 8-6 Indiana lead. 15:52 to go here in the first half from the United Center. Welcome back to the United Center. Indiana has an 8-6 lead as we exit the first media timeout. 15 minutes and 52 seconds left on the clock here in Chicago, Illinois. Andrew Hillsman, Nick Rodecap to bring you all the action here at one of the greatest arenas in all of the United States, the United Center. And Marquette is only trailed by 2, but this has been a weird game thus far. A lot of whistles, a lot of fouls. Indiana already with 6 fouls, and we've only gone to the under 16.
So one more puts Indiana in the penalty, and Marquette will be shooting free throws at least 1 and 1 the rest of the way, and that's concerning if you're Darren DeVries.
Big time.
Reed Bailey already on the bench with 2 fouls, one of Indiana's big fellas. It's something to watch.
Inbound out of the media timeout. Marquette running out of time. They'll get it into Caden Hamilton on the low left block, working on Alexis, and he will pick up his dribble. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Paint feed, an excellent pass to Zaid Lowry, who lays it in for 2. Tie game at 8. Conaway will start things off for Indiana, moving quickly across the timeline. He's going to take this coast-to-coast left-hand lay too strong. Marquette with the rebound. It's Chase Ross, who will move right to left. Ross stops up, loses possession of the basketball, eventually able to get it right back, and then a whistle on Trent Sisley. That's his second. And that puts Marquette in the bonus.
I think they got Conaway for that.
Did they?
Very ticky-tack whistle because
they did. Okay, it's Conaway's second as well.
It was Ross trying to cut toward the middle, and
yeah, he got a whack on the left elbow.
That's very ticky-tack. And the whistle was so delayed,
it was.
too. I thought it was initially on Sisley. That is
interesting.
That is troublesome for Indiana. You got multiple players with 2 fouls.
It'll be Chase Ross to shoot free throws. He's 2 for 2 on the day. The front leg of the 1-and-1 is through. 9-8, Marquette has the lead. 15.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Andrew, I don't know if I've ever seen this. Marquette is going to shoot free throws for the final 15.5 minutes of the first half. That is absurd.
Chase Ross, 75% free throw shooter last year. He's good on both. Marquette ahead by 2. It's 10-8. A couple of substitutions. Demarius Owens comes in along with Trey Norman. Norman didn't get the predicted role he was looking for last year with Sean Jones out with that knee injury all of last year. So looking to make a statement for himself this year. Inbound is to Wilkerson, who gives it off to Connor Enright. Moves from left to right and over the timeline. Enright stops up right at midcourt. Handoff towards Tucker DeVries on the left wing. One dribble for him. He gives off to Wilkerson. Nice feed from Wilkerson. DeVries draws contact. And 1. We're tied at 10 with Tucker DeVries at the line, with a chance to make it a 3-point play.
Great shot fake by Tucker DeVries. Got Chase Ross up into the air. And then DeVries did a great job staying planted on both feet, going up as Ross got on his back. He finished through contact, and he's got a chance at a 3-point play. Tell you what, for all the foul trouble, Indiana's doing a good job hanging tough.
11 combined fouls. Indiana with 7, Marquette with 4. And DeVries is good to make it a 3-point play. 11-10 Indiana. Here's Sean Jones, top of the key, kicks it out towards Royce Parham, and he'll get it right back. Jones, loosely guarded by DeVries, looks left, fakes off a screen from Owens. Ball fake left, he goes on the baseline, reverse layup with the right hand, no good. And Parham finds the rebound on Alexis, and Parham stepped out of bounds as Alexis was bumping off the block. There's a turnover, Indiana with the basketball.
Well, initially, it was a good job by Royce Parham to grab that offensive rebound. The ball was loose in the air for a second, but he got shuffled around and stepped on the baseline, so Indiana's got a chance to make this perhaps a two-possession game.
14:48 to go first half. Enright and DeVries are playing pepper cross court, gets it into Alexis on the left elbow. Enright passes up a deep straightaway three, and will reset the offense with 15 seconds on the shot clock. Looks off Wilkerson, gets it to Alexis, so we'll get it right back. Enright, left wing, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Wilkerson spots up for a straightaway tray. It's too strong, and the rebound is tapped out by Ben Gold. Falls out to Demarius Owens, who controls. Marquette trails by 1. Owens gets a screen, rather that's Norman at the top of the key. Hand off to Sean Jones, steps back. He gets picked up by DeVries. Moves towards the right wing. They switch Enright onto him. Enright receives a screen. Out to the left wing. Now Demarius Owens driving on Wilkerson, who took it right away. Head pass towards Enright on the right elbow. Kicks it out. Reed Bailey, or rather Trent Sisley, spots up for a three-pointer. It misses to the right. And Marquette will move the other way. Sean Jones gets it out to Ben Gold. Right wing three. Money. Marquette with a 2-point lead. It's 13-11, 13:45 to go first half here in Chicago. Lots of Marquette fans. It's a pretty even split between these two schools. DeVries picked up harshly by Owens, who will pick up his dribble, give it off to Sam Alexis. DeVries, left corner, spots up for a three. Answers, yes, sir. 14-13, back to a 1-point lead for Indiana. Other way, Ben Gold thought about it from the right side wing, drives, and through contact, he scores. Back and forth we go in Chicago.
I'll tell you what, that's 5 straight points for Ben Gold. One of them off a great pass. He was open up top for a three, and then right there he finishes as he goes to the floor. A chance for 6 straight points for Ben Gold. He's a 6'11" forward, but there he took it all the way to the basket and finished through the 6'7" Tucker DeVries.
Ben Gold, the first product of the NBA Global Academy in New Zealand to sign with a Division I program. And if you want to get developed as a player, there's really no better coach to do it with than Shaka Smart. The foul was assessed to Tucker DeVries. That's his first. So here is the chance for the three-point play for Ben Gold, who shot 76% from the charity stripe last year. Misses that one, and the ball's poked out of DeVries' hands. Last touch by Demarius Owens. Indiana basketball moving left to right. They trail by 1 with 13-17 to go in the first half. Enright stops up. DeVries will give it right back. Indiana's able to get it over the timeline. DeVries, right wing, has space, gives up a three. Enright towards the left side corner. Now a post feed for Sam Alexis on the low left block. Enright thinks about a three from the left wing, kicks it out. DeVries, long three, right wing. Oh, yeah! Tucker DeVries, 12 points. Indiana with a 2-point lead. Sean Jones in the left corner on the other side. Gets it right out to Caden Hamilton. Hamilton spins on Alexis on the low block, has to pick up his dribble. Pass intercepted, looking for the corner, and Jones. DeVries took it away. Head pass, here we go, slam! Trent Sisley, the freshman, 19-15 Indiana. 12 and a half minutes to go in the first half. And an offensive foul, a push-off from Sean Jones will take us to a whistle. My goodness, a stretch of energy for Indiana.
You hear that crowd? That's a lot of Indiana fans, I'll tell you what. Trent Sisley, the dunk, and then on the other end, Marquette got a little out of sorts. I was kind of surprised not to see Shaka Smart take a timeout there.
Very.
It seemed like it was spiraling, and turnovers, points, and it's all Indiana right now. And again, persevering through that foul trouble, a really thin bench, but a great job by Indiana of, well, if your enemy's making mistakes, right, you don't stand in their way. And that's kind of what they did right there. They just let Marquette commit those self-inflicted errors.
Marquette's turned the ball over 6 times. Indiana has scored 7 points off of those turnovers. 12 and a half to go first half. DeVries straight away at the top of the key, looks left, will stop up, give the ball off to Lamar Wilkerson, who has 3 points on the day. Right corner, it's Alexis, who gets a screen, gives off to Enright. Enright stopped up. And that ball tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Chase Ross on a pass meant for Wilkerson. Substitution readying for Indiana. Tayton Connerway will come into this game. in place of, rather no, this is Josiah Miles in place of Lamar Wilkerson. 19-15, the Hoosier lead. It'll be Miles to trigger the inbound, and rather Marquette's going to get a substitution from Shaka Smart before we get started again. Trey Norman will take Caden Hamilton's spot on the floor. So 12:06 to go. The next stoppage will likely bring us to the next media timeout. 19-15 Hoosier lead. Sam Alexis gets it off the inbound. Tucker DeVries spots up for a long tray. Misses left. That would have been something if he had dropped that one. Indiana's able to get it right back on a great play from Josiah Miles. So a fresh shot clock at 12 seconds. DeVries on the right corner looks it for Alexis, who gets pushed off the right side block. Lost the basketball with 7 seconds off. DeVries, hook pass, step back three, left corner. Sisley misses long, and Alexis another rebound. Goes up for it, reverse, and is fouled. He'll go to the strike. And that will take us to the under 12. 11 minutes, 38 seconds to go. Sam Alexis to the stripe when we come back. Indiana by 4. It's 19-15 at the United Center. Back live at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois for the Waterkeeper Alliance Invitational between Indiana and Marquette. 19-15, Indiana has the lead coming out of the under 12. 11 minutes, 38 seconds to go in the first half. Indiana has been able to put together a nice stretch of shooting here. They've tried 10 three-pointers, which is kind of crazy to think about when you say Indiana basketball and 10 three-pointers in the same sentence.
Under past coaching staffs, I would agree, but under Darren DeVries,
not so.
This is their blueprint. The Hoosiers are going to shoot a lot of threes, and the question is, what if you go cold? Because so far, Indiana's just 3 for 10, and all 3 of those baskets made by the same man, Tucker DeVries. So you need somebody else to get going to have more confidence in that perimeter shooting game, but it's clear they're going to stick with one of their key philosophies, which is shooting from outside.
Lamar Wilkerson is 0 for 2. Usually a highly touted three-point threat. Sam Alexis' first free throw misses deep and clangs back off. Alexis' second opportunity from the stripe is up and true. 5-point lead for Indiana. It's 20-15. Back into the regular flow of the basketball game. Nigel James Jr. on the left wing drives with contact. And he draws an and one. Josiah Miles on the contact, and Nigel James will go to the line for his shot at a three-point play.
Nigel James, a true freshman. Shaka Smart said he was terrific in practice leading up to this season. He's going to be in the rotation, and right there you see why. Physical, he gets inside, finishes at the glass, and he's got a chance to answer. After Sam Alexis missed a free throw, you got a chance to make this potentially a 4-point swing.
Reed Bailey and Lamar Wilkerson check back into the game, so the starters on the floor, rather, save for Tatum Conaway, substituted for Trent Sisley. Indiana will inbound. They've got the basketball. It's Wilkerson who gives off to Enright in his own paint area. Indiana will get it across the timeline. Enright stops up and quarterbacks the offense with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Right at the top of the free throw arc is Tucker DeVries, who leads the Hoosiers in points. Will try a long two, and he'll buy it. 14 points for DeVries. Nigel James starts the other way at the left elbow, and a blocking foul on Connor Enright. The Hoosier fans don't like it, but I think it's the right call.
I don't know whether or not Enright was set in the painted area there. It was close as Nigel James was driving. It looked like
I'm going to go with no.
Enright's feet were still moving there.
I think the disappointment for the Hoosier fans is the fact that Nigel James might have extended his right arm a little bit up into the head and neck area of Enright, but he'll go to the line for 2 shots. James's first is pure. So Marquette trails by 3. Tatum Conaway steps onto the floor in place of Connor Enright. Enright had his career high 11 assists versus Marquette earlier in January when he played for DePaul. Adrian Stevens checks in as well for Marquette in place of Royce Parham. So 11:03 to go in the first half. Indiana holds a narrow 2-point lead. It's 22-20 at the United Center. DeVries, a turnover off the inbound. James up for a layup. His attempt is short. James kicks it out. Now Ben Gold will set the offense. One pass towards Chase Ross, driving in on the left side paint. Extended left-hand layup. Yes. Tie game at 22. Tucker DeVries the inbound to Lamar Wilkerson, who's picked up quickly by Chase Ross, or rather that's Zayd Lowry. Wilkerson gets over the timeline with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Picks up his dribble, bounce pass to Reed Bailey on the right side wing is picked up by Ben Gold. Bailey to the baseline, left hand hook on a spin, and the rebound is corralled by Gold. Marquette will push the pace, looking to take the lead. 10.5 to play in the first half. Kick out to the right corner, thought about a three. Did Stevens pass it up? Lowry, right corner, driving on Reed Bailey, or rather Trent Sisley, and he'll score amongst the trees. Marquette the 24-22 lead with 10 minutes to play in the first. Connerway, and a whistle, a blocking foul on Nigel James. James thought it was on Connerway as he took it over the timeline, but that'll put Indiana in the bonus. Marquette in the double bonus, so they'll be shooting 2 free throws on any foul the rest of this half.
We got a lot of free throws standing between
do.
us and halftime. 10:06 left, but I'll tell you what, Andrew, this is going to be a fun game. You can tell these teams, a lot of give and take, a couple extended runs for both teams, and we'll see how Indiana handles early adversity. They did it well against Baylor, but that was in an exhibition.
Connerway, a 66% free throw shooter a season ago, gets a friendly bounce off the front iron, and that drops for the front leg of the 1-1. Connerway, the Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year last year, tournament most outstanding player, and a great stealer of the basketball, led or third nationally last year with 98 total steals. He's good on his second. We're tied halfway through this first half of play in Chicago. Here's Sean Jones, kicks it out to nobody, and that'll get to the scorer's table, a turnover for Marquette, their 7th.
Well, Zayd Lowry was moving toward the right corner, and that pass went back toward half court. That's not the first time today we've seen the ball go one way and the intended target go the other way.
There's Tatum Connerway at the high half-court mark, 9:50 to go in the first half. He'll get a screen from Alexis, who corrals the ball at the top of the free throw arc. Right elbow moves out into the right corner. Through his legs, attacks baseline on Gold, fadeaway, right-handed jumper, off the front iron and too strong. Marquette the board. And Sean Jones will move it the other way. Jones picked up by Wilkerson into the paint. Kick out towards the left wing. Lowry. Now he'll drive out to the right side wing. Lefty jumper from Norman is short. The rebound for Tucker DeVries. I thought it was Chase Ross who missed that shot. Wilkerson on a drive with the right hand. Yes! 26-24. Lamar Wilkerson gives the Hoosiers a 2-point lead. 9:13 to go in the first half. Gold thinks about a long three straight away. Alexis jumps on the fake from Lowry towards the right wing. It's Chase Ross. Right at the free throw stripe. Bounce pass out to Lowry, who tries a deep three. Misses left, and Wilkerson will clean the glass. Wilkerson, a one-hand pass to the top side of the court. Long pass, Josiah Miles. Reverse layup. Oh, yeah. 4-point lead for the Hoosiers. Miles makes a backdoor cut, and the Hoosiers have a 2-possession lead. Ross moved the other way. He'll miss his layup off the left hand. Miles cleans the board, and Tucker DeVries will look to slow things down with just over 8.5 minutes to go. Connerway towards Miles, skip pass. Now it's Wilkerson in the right corner. Has some space. It's a bounce pass out to DeVries, who thinks about a left corner three. Now drives inside on the left block, goes up for the shot, and puts it through. 6-point lead and an 8-0 run over the last 90 seconds for the Hoosiers. Shaka Smart has yet to use a timeout. Here's Ben Gold. Straight away three-pointer on the way. Rims in. The answer that Marquette needed with 8 minutes to go. It's a 3-point game. Shaka Smart is getting into it. He is on the court. Not a shock. You see that a lot in March from Smart. Connerway on the right wing picks up his dribble. Post feed for Sam Alexis and a whistle, which will take us to the under 8 media timeout. Indiana 30, Marquette 27. Great battle on hand between the Hoosiers and the Golden Eagles here in Chicago. Back in a minute on WIUX Sports. Back live at the United Center in the hockey press box. We're not courtside. We're not that good yet, but a great spot to call a game. We took over the Blackhawks radio booth, so I'm sitting in one of my favorite broadcasters' seats, John Weideman. Thanks, John, for your hospitality.
Does he know?
No, he has no idea. No, they are actually in Detroit right now, playing the Red Wings, but we're glad you're listening to us here on WIUX. All right, game reset. 30-27, the Indiana lead out of the under 8 media timeout. 7:54 left to go in this game. Tucker DeVries is shooting 6 for 8 from the floor, 3 for 5 from outside, has 16 points. But Ben Gold has been just as impressive off the bench for Marquette.
Ben Gold, 8 points, 2 of 3 shooting from downtown. He made one right before the media timeout. It looks like Ben Gold is going to be a mismatch for Indiana defensively. Reed Bailey at 6'10", on the bench with 2 fouls for most of this first half. Ben Gold standing at 6'11". He's a 7-footer who can play at all 3 levels.
It's an NBA build if you ever think of one. Sam Alexis' first of 2 free throws, or the first of a 1-and-1 is good. So that stretches the Hoosier lead to 4 points, 31-27. And Darren DeVries' second official game as head coach of Indiana men's basketball. 2 of 2 from the line that time for Alexis. So Marquette trails by 5. They'll move the other way. Nigel James Jr. starts things off. Pass out to Ross on the left block, and a whistle. That time on Josiah Miles. And a little slow to get up is Chase Ross. We'll see a replay here on the big board.
And it looked like Miles, or Tatum Connerway, I think, was the one they got for it.
They did, and that's his third.
I don't think that should have been on Connerway. Miles, oh yeah, Connerway hits Chase Ross. It looks like around the right eye.
That's a foul every time.
And it's one that Indiana really can't afford now because Tatum Connerway has 3. That's one of your point men. That's one of your key guards. And now Connor Enright is going to have to come in. And Enright already in this game has 2 fouls. So Indiana, you talk about the injuries to guys like Jason Drake, Nick Dorn, Josh Harris. Those are 3 guys who could come into the game, but they're hurt. So Indiana's really stretched thin here.
There is really not a lot, if any, guard depth right now for Indiana. First of 2 free throws is true for Chase Ross. Ross finished 4th in the Big East in steals a year ago. Has double-digit scoring in both his games so far this year. It's the first year of him being at Marquette where he's the primary scoring threat, and he's up to 10 points. And a whistle. It's like an off-ball foul, and now Indiana's going to shoot some free throws. Back and forth we go.
Yeah, this could be a very long final 8 minutes.
Yes.
Both teams are in the penalty. We've got 19 combined fouls.
If you're complaining about spending more time in the United Center, I think you're insane.
Well, no, for the sake of seeing what these teams have to offer.
I agree. I'm with you.
I think the fans would rather not see a free throw fest, although Indiana made 19 straight free throws to start the season, so maybe it'll go in the Hoosiers' favor. Who knows? Enright
at the line, shot 63% last year, and his first drops in after a couple of bounces off the rim. 33-29, Indiana has the lead, 7:46 to go first half. Both teams shooting right around that 45% line mark from the floor. Enright's second free throw, off back iron and down. So the lead back out to 5 points for the Hoosiers. Here's Sean Jones at the top of the key. Stops up Ross, gives it right back. And out to the top of the key. Chase Ross drives inside, and a whistle on Josiah Miles. That his second.
And they called that foul on the floor.
Yep. Yeah,
Ross,
it definitely was on the floor.
Yeah, Ross went to the basket. And they didn't call continuation there. And I think there's been some talk about them calling that in college.
Well, they changed the rule to allow it to be more like the NBA, but it's not the same rule. I'm not entirely sure what it looks like because I haven't seen it called just yet. First free throw from Zayd Lowry is good, and Trent Sisley will check in place of Josiah Miles. Floor reset for the Hoosiers. DeVries, Wilkerson, Enright, Alexis, and Sisley on the floor. Second free throw is no good, and Alexis picks up the board. Enright carries it over the timeline with 7.5 to play in the first half. Indiana with a 4-point lead. Enright looks left, nobody's home. Bounce pass to Tucker DeVries. Gets it out to Wilkerson, wide open, straightaway 3. Oh yeah, why not? Lamar Wilkerson was 4 for 10 against Alabama A&M on Wednesday. Now maybe an answering 3, but Chase Ross passes it up out to Sean Jones, right wing. 7:05 to go. He dribbles towards the right side, now in the right side corner. Has some space, thinks about a right wing 3, drives inside, kick to the corner for Hamilton. Fakes a pass to the right, and now still is being pressed by Alexis. Backing him down, 7 seconds, finds a hook pass, and struggling to keep it in play is Royce Parham, and he can't do so. put it out of bounds. Another turnover from Marquette. And Indiana has the basketball with a 7-point lead.
That is one of the better defensive possessions we've seen today from Indiana. No open looks from anyone. Man defense all the way around. Everybody moving their feet, clogging up the passing lanes, and forcing a Marquette turnover. That is already the 8th turnover for Marquette today. Indiana has committed just 2.
DeVries looking to play pepper with Enright. He'll do so. 20 seconds on the shot clock with 6:40 to go in the first half. Enright waiting on a play call from his head coach, Darren DeVries, and now he'll get things started with 10 seconds. Enright, post feed for DeVries, right at the right elbow, dribbles back out with 6 seconds. Crossing, now with space at the free throw line, fade away, draws contact and misses, but that'll be a shooting foul. Looks like they're going to get Royce Parham for that one, and DeVries will take a trip to the stripe.
You know who that reminded me of a little bit with DeVries? It reminded me of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I'm not really sure I see a lot of contact that warrants a foul there.
Well, that's why I say it reminded me of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because Royce Parham got a little handsy, and it looked like Tucker DeVries sold it and almost chucked it up toward the rim to draw the shooting
That's the
foul.
continuation rule that I think has been introduced in college basketball to align more with the NBA this year.
And you look at the rule, and the player is allowed to continue the motion that they are in the middle of while they're being fouled. So it is effectively like the NBA.
DeVries good on both attempts from the stripe. It's 39-30 Indiana. DeVries with 18 points. Chase Ross gives off to Parham. Straightaway 3 on the way. Rims in and out. It's a little too strong, and right the board. He'll look to push the pace. Now he'll slow right back down. Takes it across the timeline. Just over 6 to play in the first half. Enright gets it poked away, struggling on the ground, and finds it to Trent Sisley on the low block, and tipped away. It'll be Indiana basketball off of the outstretched fingertips of Royce Parham.
Great job there by Sisley. He wanted to try to save that going over the end line. It got tipped out of his hands, I think, by Caden Hamilton. And Sisley pulled up and wisely let it go over the baseline. Gives Indiana 14 seconds to do something here rather than turning it over out of desperation.
Just under 6 to go. Yeah, they'll give the block officially to Caden Hamilton. Hamilton, who had 7 blocks a year ago. In the 6.5 minutes a game he played, DeVries, a spot-up 3 from the left wing is pure. DeVries with 21 in the first half. It's 42-30 Hoosiers. Marquette looking to answer. It is loud in the United Center. Chase Ross at the top of the key with 18 seconds. He'll think about a 3, gives it to the left side. It's Adrian Stevens driving right elbow into the right block, guarded by Enright, kicks it out. Doubled in the corner, 9 seconds to go. This is the loudest this place has been all day. Shot on the way from Lowry, no good. Offensive rebound from Marquette. It's Parham driving, dribbling, spinning, scoring. Indiana fans wanted a travel, they won't get one. 10-point lead for Indiana. Another 3 here might blow the roof off the United Center. DeVries gets it out to Alexis in the right side corner. Alexis scanning the floor. Gives it back to DeVries, who booted it right off his foot. An untimely turnover with the crowd really getting into it with exactly 5 minutes to go in the first half.
That's one where you don't want to see Sam Alexis make a bounce pass. It was so close to the sideline. You want to see that just be a chest pass, but instead he bounced it off Tucker DeVries' shin.
Chase Ross will carry it over the timeline, picked up by Wilkerson. Rejects a screen, drives left side. No foul. He couldn't finish through contact. Wilkerson the other way, coast-to-coast drive with a left-hand layup. Offensive rebound, can't be found. Stevens the other way. Stevens, scissor step, left side, Euro step, offensive rebound. Parham, his bucket's good. 8-point lead now for Indiana. DeVries the inbound, and Enright will slow things down.
Darren DeVries was livid on the sideline after that second chance basket by Marquette.
Enright looks to the right. He'll stop himself up. 16 seconds on the shot clock. Enright picks up his dribble to DeVries, or rather that's Sisley. Enright, left side to Wilkerson, who's got some range. Now it's DeVries, top of the key, with a little bit of space. 5 seconds on the shot clock at the left wing. Fakes a handoff, spots up for the mid-range jumper. Left side is too strong. Marquette will move the other way, under 4 to go. Chase Ross, left wing, thinks about a 3. Give it off to Parham. Fakes a pass down into the paint. Parham gives it right off to Lowry. Hamilton, shuffle move on Alexis. He's backing him down. Takes a couple of steps. Indiana wants to travel, and they won't get one. But DeVries finds the rebound on the missed layup attempt. from Adrian Stevens. Looking to push the pace, but Sisley will give it right back to Enright with 3.5 to play in the first half. Next whistle will bring us to the last media timeout of the first half. 42-34, Indiana has an advantage. Enright, DeVries, right corner three, yes! Timeout Marquette. 45-34, Hoosiers, DeVries with 24 points.
And that three, Andrew, came off a great screen from Trent Sisley that got DeVries wide open on the right wing. That's the freshman setting the screen for the redshirt senior, and this is the Tucker DeVries show right here. 24 points. Marquette as a team has 34. He has absolutely dominated this first half for the Hoosiers.
45-34, Indiana by 11 with 3:14 to go in the first half from the United Center here on WIUX. Back in a moment. 3:14 to go in half number one from the United Center. It's the Waterkeeper Alliance Invitational between Indiana and Marquette. Indiana 1-0 on the year, Marquette 2-0. Neither team has played a big-time opponent until today. And you didn't really see this sort of scheduling in the Mike Woodson era. They would schedule a lot of what are known kindly as cupcake teams. But Indiana had a tendency to struggle in those games.
Yeah,
today they look a lot better.
And now, this is the kind of game where the selection committee might look at it, depending on how Marquette's season goes. If Indiana can win this, might look at this game and say that is a resume-boosting win. But we have a long way to go.
Yes, we do. Both teams in double bonus for the last 3:10 of this half. Sean Jones as Marquette moves from right to left. Ben Gold left open, and Sam Alexis picks him up right away. Zayd Lowry on the right block. Goes out to the top. One hand pass to Sean Jones. Jones gives off Gold, gets it right back. Jones thinks about a three from the right elbow. He'll drive in. Tip off for Gold, who puts it in for 2 points. Hoosiers will go the other way. 9-point lead for the Cream and Crimson. Enright picked up, had to pick up his dribble and gets the pass into Sam Alexis. Kick out to Wilkerson, right wing, and a cut from Enright, who is fouled and puts up a layup. That is too strong. He'll go to the line for a couple of free throws.
Enright came in cutting across the lane left to right right there. And Demarius Owens basically clotheslined him, coming to guard him, because if not, Enright would have been wide open underneath. That's great off-ball movement, and he's got a chance to pay it off at the line.
2.5 to play, first half. Indiana 11 for 12 from the stripe on the game. They made every free throw attempt on Wednesday at home against Alabama A&M. Enright good that time. 10-point lead for Indiana. Enright will take a breath and put up his second, is also right through. Back to an 11-point lead for IU. 2:30 to go first half. Sean Jones with some space. Wanted to take a three, and now Gold will fake one from the right wing, step inside, and a steal from Wilkerson on a breakaway. Right hand layup. It does not fall, but right there to pick up the pieces is Trent Sisley. 49-36 Indiana. Marquette needs to get something going here. Zayd Lowry will give it off to Jones. The point guard spots up for a right wing three, is way short. DeVries the board. DeVries has 24 points in the first half. Dribbles the basketball, has space down the lane, stops up at the free throw line, kicks it left. Pass was tipped, he'll get it right back. Wanted to give it to Trent Sisley. DeVries moves left. Finds Alexis in the low block with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Alexis moving on Gold, and he scores. Great footwork from the Florida transfer to score over the trees of Ben Gold. 51-36, 95 seconds to go first half. Zayd Lowry, left wing, guarded by Enright. Give out to Gold, who thought about a three from the left corner. Will take a couple of dribbles, give it right off to Jones. Jones takes his time, left wing, now into the paint. A gather step, high off the glass, no good on the layup. Enright will look to push the pace. Takes it over the timeline, 1:15 to go, 51-36, Hoosier lead. DeVries wants a ball screen. Up top, he won't get one and is content to take as much time as he can. Now here comes the screen, help from Alexis. He'll reject it. And DeVries kick out towards Alexis. Now at the top of the key, left elbow. DeVries drives off the glass, too strong. Ben Gold picks up the board and will give it out to Sean Jones. Jones right over the center of the court, spin move, lost the basketball, got it right back somehow. Gold spots up for a straightaway three, just rims out, and it's Indiana basketball going the other way. Zayd Lowry shot in like a cannon from the top of the key, but couldn't corral the basketball.
And Ben Gold had an open look right there. He set his feet, catch and shoot three at the top. He's made a couple of those, and right there he just got unlucky with the roll. And then you said it, Lowry coming in, flying in for the offensive rebound. So much momentum that he knocked the ball out of bounds. Indiana leading already by 15 points, and Shaka Smart is going to have some adjustments to make at halftime.
Tucker DeVries will inbound the basketball with 40.8 to go in half number one. DeVries leads with 24 points. On the other side, Chase Ross with 11 is the Golden Eagles team lead. And we'll take a little bit of a break here to mop up a wet spot on the court. And here we go. Big lead for Indiana, 51-36 with 40 seconds to go. Half-court press comes on. An ill-advised pass is somehow going to fall away to Sam Alexis, who gets fouled, and he'll go to the line for some double bonus free throws.
Indiana got very, very lucky right there. That's an ill-advised pass into double or triple coverage across the timeline. And Sam Alexis, fighting for the ball, was able to draw the foul, but that very easily could have been a turnover.
Probably should have been if we're talking realism here. Alexis to the stripe is 3 for 4 from that spot on the day. Perfect on his first, 52-36. Indiana by 14 points. 52-36, 34.4 seconds to go here in the first half. Alexis' second free throw, pure. Marquette looking to put a dent into this one if they can, but it's a big task. 5 seconds separate shot and game clock. Marquette looking to try and make this a long last possession. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Nigel James is picked up by Wilkerson deep in the front court. Moves right with some space. Now attacks the rim. Kick out towards Lowry. Lowry needs to get a shot off. He drives in the paint and is fouled. And he'll get bailed out. Drew some contact. He'll go to the line for two.
And I get what Marquette was trying to do there, run down the shot clock. Problem is they almost committed a shot clock violation. I think Indiana's going to go into the locker room with at least 3 or 4 players who have 2 fouls, because that is Sam Alexis' second foul. And you look at these guys. Alexis has 2, Reed Bailey with 2, Connerway with 3, and Miles with 2. Everybody else I should say, has at least 1.
Zayd Lowry's first is off back iron and through. As a team, Marquette shot 72% from the stripe last year, right around that same mark through their first 2 games. A team that was top 10 nationally in least turnovers a game has 9. That's what they averaged per game a year ago.
Sloppy. That's putting it lightly.
Shaka Smart has some choice words probably for his team in the halftime break. 2nd and 2 is good for Lowry. Here comes the press. DeVries the inbound towards Enright with 3 seconds across half court. Through contact, a shot. Oh my goodness, he made it! Connor Enright puts a bow on the first half as Indiana heads to the break up by 18. What? How did he make that?
I thought Enright had more time. He's at half court with 3 seconds left, and he just put up a prayer. Wow. You hear the Indiana fans. There's a lot of them, and they're making a lot of noise. I mean, this is...
Wow.
Indiana basketball fans have been waiting for this for a long
time.
Long time, to quote Mark Boyle.
Well, 56-38, the Hoosier lead. Marquette has some work to do. I can't remember the last time Indiana scored over 55 points in one half of basketball.
And there's a catch. In one half against a power conference opponent.
Correct.
That is very encouraging. A lot of time to go. Marquette is a very well-coached team, and I'm sure Shaka Smart will adjust. But for Indiana to do that with such a limited lineup, the injuries and then the foul trouble, is very, very impressive. And I'm sure Indiana fans will be very excited about it.
Well, we'll be back in right around 10 or 12 minutes for Nick Rodecap to take over the play-by-play duties here in the second half from the United Center. 56-38, Indiana has the lead in a breakout game for Darren DeVries as his second game of the head coach of Indiana men's basketball off to a great start. Indiana by 18 at the half.
Welcome back to the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. Alongside Andrew Hillsman, Nick Rodecap with you. Indiana and Marquette currently at halftime. The Hoosiers took a 56-38 lead going into the locker room as Connor Enright made a half-court heave to beat the buzzer. But Andrew Hillsman, the story of that second half, the story of the first half is Indiana leads by 18. Without a doubt, Tucker DeVries, who has a game-high 24 points. He has made 5 of his 7 three-point baskets this afternoon.
Yeah, he's just been so consistent and really fearless in taking attempts that, usually when you look at a guy in an Indiana uniform, you and I have been used to seeing those shots never getting taken. But Tucker DeVries is a special player. He invites contact. He fights through contact. He's a pure scorer, and he can shoot the lights out. This is, I feel like, a game where DeVries is going to be able to really put his name on the national map.
If he hasn't already.
Exactly.
And you think about what he was able to do in limited action at West Virginia. He played in just 8 games, but was very highly touted before his season was cut short by injury. DeVries leads all scorers with 24 points. He's the only Indiana player in double figures. For Indiana, Sam Alexis has 9 off the bench. Lamar Wilkerson has 8 points. And for Marquette, Chase Ross and Ben Gold, both in double figures. Gold, 2 of 4 three-point shooting off the bench. Hoosiers 56, Marquette 38 from the United Center. Both teams, as you would expect, their fan bases traveled well here to the Windy City. And let me tell you, it is very cold outside.
Oh, goodness.
But in here, the Hoosiers have been red hot from the jump. We've got 20 minutes to decide this one. Head coach Shaka Smart on the sideline for Marquette, as animated as you'll find. I'm interested to see what halftime adjustments he made.
Well, so far, at least if you look at their game against Southern last time out, they didn't shoot that well. They shot 13 for 33 in the first half, 22 for 37 in the second. So they have had a better second half in their limited sample size, but this is a big deficit they've got to work past. And as hot as this team's shooting right now, it's going to be even tougher.
Indiana inbounding as we begin this second half. The Hoosiers will be moving right to left in your mind's eye, wearing their red uniforms. White numerals, letters, and trim. And for Marquette, their yellow uniforms with navy numerals, letters, and trim, and some light blue accents in there as well. Original starters out there for both teams. Tucker DeVries will inbound to Tatum Connerway. Reed Bailey spent most of the first half on the bench. He's got 2 fouls. Connerway is in there with 3. Foul trouble may come back to bite Indiana in this second half, but it's DeVries, Connerway, Bailey, Lamar Wilkerson, and Connor Enright out there for the Hoosiers. And for Marquette, Chase Ross, Zayd Lowry, Ben Gold, Caden Hamilton, and Sean Jones. ESPN was putting a tripod away courtside. That is the delay, but DeVries triggers, and we are back underway from the United Center in Chicago. Tatum Connerway crab walking across the timeline. Reed Bailey up at the top, in there with 2 fouls. We'll see how long of a leash he has. Wilkerson, perimeter right, dribbling toward the top. 15 seconds on the timer. Drives into the lane from the left block, lays it up negative. Rebounded by Chase Ross for Marquette. Up the floor comes the freshman Nigel James Jr. on the left perimeter. Gets a screen, dribbles into the lane, left to right, underneath, misses the layup off the heel and goes tumbling into the cameraman. Rebound, Indiana's Tatum Connerway. Enright left side, fires a 3, misses short. Rebounded by the 7-footer, Ben Gold, and off it goes to Nigel James. 40 seconds into this second half, Indiana leading 56-38. Perimeter left, Nigel James double-teamed as he gets to the baseline. Now underneath the basket, he shovels it back out to Caden Hamilton. Hamilton spinning into the lane, guarded closely by Reed Bailey, lays it up too strong, and a foul assessed to Reed Bailey. Andrew, we just talked about it. Bailey having trouble, sent to the bench with 2 early fouls, and he picks up number 3 less than a minute into this second half.
Well, Nick, those first 2 fouls happened in the first 2 minutes. First 90 seconds of game time. So it's the same story. Bailey, too aggressive coming out of the locker room, and that leash for him gets shorter and shorter. Sam Alexis has a chance to really put his name out there in this game with as many minutes as he's going to play.
Caden Hamilton, 2 of 2 at the line, his only 2 points of the afternoon so far. First free throw on the way, and he flushes it home. Alexis had 17 points for Indiana in that blowout win over Alabama A&M. Alexis 17 points off the bench. So far this afternoon, Alexis has been comparatively quiet with 9 points, but he gets some early run as Reed Bailey goes back to the bench frustrated with 3 fouls. And so Hamilton readies for his second foul shot. It is on the way and good. He makes both. 19:08 left, second half, and it's 56-40 Indiana. Full court pressure from Marquette. Indiana had some trouble breaking this in the first half. Enright brings it across the timeline with little trouble left of center. Mismatch as Ben Gold is on him. That's a height difference of about 10 inches. Enright up top. Now Connerway gets the feed left side. Looking for Wilkerson. Instead he spins and finds Enright. Give and go back to Connerway, dribbling right. Getting to the block underneath. He heaves it back to the top for Enright. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Wilkerson into the lane. Through contact. No call. Indiana's bench and the fans are livid. The Golden Eagles running the other way. Into the lane, James misses a layup high off glass, and there to follow is Caden Hamilton, who lays it in. He's got 4 straight points for Marquette, and the Indiana lead is back down to 14 points with 90 seconds gone in the second half.
That's a really efficient offensive possession, even though it didn't lead to points for the Hoosiers. It's a great sign.
A lot of contact in the paint, no whistle, and Darren DeVries was very angry at that. Connerway driving into the lane, runs into Chase Ross. Ross wanted an offensive foul as the layup sails out of bounds. Instead, he has assessed his second foul of the afternoon, and Connerway will shoot 2.
I imagine, we're going to get a good look at that. He has a chance. I mean, I look at that replay. The feet were set. Have another look here. Steps in. Ooh, he's got a real good case right there, Nick, but the call on the floor is the call on the floor. That could have gone really either way.
Connerway makes the first free throw. It looked like Ross's momentum was still shifting a little bit to his right, but it was very close. Sean Jones checking in as Nigel James goes to the bench. Jones, who missed all of last season with an injury, back on the floor. Connerway made the first free throw. The second on the way is too strong, rebounded by Ben Gold. Marquette moving left to right with haste. Jones, fresh legs off the bench. Up top to Ben Gold. Made a couple threes in the first half for the Golden Eagles. Cutting into the lane and having it swatted away is Sean Jones. But Marquette recuperates on the right side with Caden Hamilton. Jones gets it back to the top. Ross fakes a 3, dribbles to the right elbow. Loses the handle, gets it back, and bounces underneath to Hamilton. Double teamed on the baseline. He kicks to Jones. 5 on the shot clock. Jones has to go. Guarded by Wilkerson. Jones fading away. Misses a right-handed desperation heave. Enright is out and running with the rebound as players go to the deck for both teams. Tucker DeVries on the left perimeter finds Enright in the corner. Enright matched up against the 7-footer Gold. Dribbling into the paint, kicks it back out to Wilkerson on the right side. Wilkerson drives through traffic, lobs it to Alexis, and slams it with 2 hands. Alexis, the alley-oop dunk, and Indiana leads 59-42. On the other end, Ross misses a layup, and Alexis is called for the foul. But wow, Sam Alexis has had some great moments in his first 2 games in an Indiana uniform. That alley-oop dunk, another one.
Well, the experience of Lamar Wilkerson, who started all 32 games for the Sam Houston State Bearcats last year. Indiana, the only team nationally to have more than 10 players who have made 30-plus career starts. That experience to go for that lob instead of a layup, that is something really only a veteran player like Wilkerson can do, and it's amazing wherewithal to be able to put that ball right where it needs to be for Alexis to go up and get it.
Alexis picks up his second foul on the other end. Ross makes the first free throw, and his second foul shot, the southpaw makes it, and Chase Ross has 13 points, leading all Marquette scorers. 9 of those points have come at the free throw line. 59-44 Indiana, 17-10 left in this second half. Alexis gets it, high post left, harassed out there by Gold. He gets it to the top of the key. Tucker DeVries, game high 24 points, has not scored in this second half. Enright, way out on the right side, rejects a Wilkerson screen. Wilkerson left open from the right perimeter, and he makes the 3-ball. Lamar Wilkerson getting involved in the scoring, his second 3-point basket of the afternoon. 62-44 Indiana. Driving into the lane, Ross loses the handle. He had it swatted out of his hands by Sam Alexis right there. And Marquette will inbound on the baseline with 21 seconds on the shot clock.
Indiana's shooting efficiency is something to behold. 50% or near 50% from the field as a whole. They're 19 for 40, 8 for 16 from outside.
And so inbounding is Chase Ross, baseline right. He gets it into the corner for Zayd Lowry. Now back up top, Jones, dribbling to the right elbow. DeVries picks him up. Jones between the circles, the switch onto Enright, around into the corner for Ben Gold. Gold dribbling into the painted area, guarded by Alexis. DeVries on the help side defense. The kick to Parham, the three ball too strong. Offensive rebound, fought for by Lowry. The ball swatted out of bounds, and I think we have a foul assessed to Indiana. And that is another foul on Sam Alexis, which is his third personal foul. So now you've got two bigs with 3 fouls for Indiana, and Indiana's going to swap them out. Alexis to the bench, and Reed Bailey back in. Inbounding underneath is Jones. He's got an open man on the right side, needs some help, and he finds Parham, harassed by DeVries. Plenty of time for Marquette, 15 on the shot clock. And now Parham goes to work and throws it away. He was looking for Zayd Lowry right outside the arc. Lowry cut inside, and the pass went errantly out of bounds.
Well, that's the second time we've seen Lowry make a cut today when his teammate didn't expect it, and the exact same thing happens that time. The referee got that pass.
So you had a chance to scratch away at this deficit, and Marquette comes away with a turnover. It's 10th of the afternoon. Enright dribbling underneath the basket has his pass deflected and saved inbounds by Parham. DeVries goes to the deck, a scrum for it, and a foul.
They called a foul on Enright.
On Connor Enright. And that was very ticky-tack, Andrew Hillsman. I didn't see a whole lot there either way.
Well, we'll go to our big replay board here. DeVries goes to the ground, and the pass gets tipped from Jones. Wow.
So Enright was fighting with Jones for the ball right there.
The confusion that I have here, Nick, is how that's a foul, because the ball is not possessed by either team.
Either way, Marquette with the basketball. Here's Sean Jones dribbling right perimeter, crosses over on DeVries, underneath the basket, nothing doing. Kicks to the top for Chase Ross, and the southpaw misses a 3. Rebound tipped up into the air. And a whistle before the shot, I believe. Zayd Lowry tipped it in on the second chance. But I believe the foul was called on the floor.
Enright, that's his 4th.
And they got Connor Enright for his 4th foul. So, Andrew, on the other side of this media timeout, Darren DeVries will have some questions to answer. The Hoosiers in foul trouble, but with an 18-point lead, 62-44. 15:49 left in regulation from the United Center on WIUX, your home for Hoosier Sports. Back here at the United Center, 15:49 left in this second half. He's Andrew Hillsman. I'm Nick Rodecap. Andrew, the Hoosiers leading 62-44. Foul trouble. Tucker DeVries is the headliner, but they need somebody else to step up.
Yeah, and you look at the obvious choice for that candidate would be Lamar Wilkerson, but he's 4 for 11. He has not had a Wilkerson-esque day. He made a 3 about a minute of game time ago, but he was 1 for 3 in this half. He's not been able to make either layup he's attempted. He's had that 1 assist on the Sam Alexis alley-oop, but it gets confusing because Marquette knows they need to shut down DeVries, and so far it's worked.
Bailey, Connerway, and Sam Alexis all playing with 3 fouls. Connor Enright to the bench with 4. Marquette inbounding out of the timeout. Sean Jones to trigger, gets it in perimeter right to Royce Parham. 15 seconds on the shot clock after the foul that was assessed to Enright. Ross left open at the top, makes a 3, and you just can't do that. Ross averaging 19 points per game through Marquette's first 2, and he's got 16 so far this afternoon. Connerway across the timeline, 15:30 to go in regulation, 62-47 the Indiana lead. Indiana tries to work a 2-man game with DeVries lobbing it inside to Reed Bailey, but Zayd Lowry is issued the foul. Or actually, they got Caden Hamilton. Lowry was in the area as well, but it is the 3rd foul on Caden Hamilton. And so Indiana inbounding baseline left. Connerway to trigger. He gets it into Trent Sisley. Around the horn to Wilkerson, perimeter right. Wilkerson harassed by Chase Ross. Now Reed Bailey. Bailey dribbling towards the middle. Now Tucker DeVries in the corner. He stepped on the sideline. DeVries went toward that negative step. He was trying to get momentum going toward the basket. Zayd Lowry pressured him toward the out-of-bounds line, and he stepped on it.
Well, Marquette's doing a much better job in this half, Nick, of just guarding good shots on the perimeter.
Tucker DeVries, 24 points in the first half, none in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Lowry up top to Caden Hamilton. Bailey picks him up, and they hand it off to Chase Ross. Ross bluffs a three, drives left of the lane, and kicks back out to Sean Jones. 9 on the shot clock. Jones had it swatted away, goes to the floor. The ball is loose. Ross picks it up with 3, hoists a long three-point shot that is swatted off the rim and out of bounds by Tucker DeVries. And Marquette gets a new lease on life. Ross had the hoist late in the clock. Indiana fighting for the rebound, swatted it out of bounds.
So that resets the shot clock to 20 seconds. And Marquette, I like this willingness to take these long threes because you've got players who can hit them. They just have to start falling.
Lowry inbounds from the corner. Royce Parham gets it for Marquette, dribbling across the lane, left to right, finishes with the left hand. Count it, and the foul. And Marquette trying to mount a comeback. Royce Parham, an excellent finish in the paint.
Yeah, that's really good, and he got hacked too, Nick. That's a tough finish from Royce Parham, and a guy who was reliable, only turned the ball over 13 times in 500 minutes last year, that time making a play on the other side. That's
Shaka
huge.
Smart said Royce Parham is going to have his role increased in his sophomore season. A chance at a three-point play to cut the lead to 12, and he does just that, making the free throw. 14:42 and counting left in this second half. 62-50, Indiana leading as the Marquette fans come to their feet. Long pass goes to the far corner. Wilkerson for 3, answers the call. Ross pushing it across the floor in transition, left to right in your mind's eye. Hands it off to Caden Hamilton, who tries to slow things down for the Golden Eagles. Parham just inside the left side of the arc, working on DeVries. Help comes, and another foul assessed to Indiana. I think they got Connerway reaching in right there.
No, they got DeVries.
And if they did get Tucker DeVries, that is his third. So Bailey, Connerway, and DeVries now on the floor with 3 fouls. The Hoosiers committing their 7th team foul of this second half.
Same story.
It means Marquette will shoot free throws for the final 14-18. Well, Indiana made it about a minute further without that 7th team foul in this second half. But my goodness, it is really hurting Indiana, all of these fouls.
Yeah, these free throws are going to let Marquette back into this game because Indiana can't nearly play. Fouls are resources in college basketball. You have to wisely use them, and you have to wisely give them up. You've got to be okay fouling sometimes. When a team doesn't have that advantage to be okay fouling on a shot, it gets even worse.
Parham made the front end of the 1-and-1, and he completes the 2 free throws, successful at the stripe, and Marquette is now 23 of 25 at the free throw line as a team. That's a 92% success rate. Across the line, across the timeline comes Lamar Wilkerson, dumps it off to Reed Bailey, and a whistle well outside the three-point arc as they got Caden Hamilton, who I think swatted Reed Bailey on the arm. And Andrew, this feels like the early first half of this game, very, very choppy.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, that's definitely a foul. That's the correct call. Got a whack on Reed Bailey. But yeah, you're right. It does feel the same. And we had the first 5 or 6 minutes of the first half be kind of back and forth and all that, and then both teams found that rhythm out of the locker room.
Trent Sisley bounces it in to Reed Bailey, just above the baseline on the near side. Bailey back up top now to Tucker DeVries. 12 on the shot clock. DeVries drives to the elbow, spins into the paint, floats it off the iron, no good. It's batted around and picked up by Marquette's Nigel James. They've got numbers out and running. The Golden Eagles. James kicks it back out. Lowry 3 on the way is money. Timeout, Indiana. Marquette has cut the Hoosiers' lead down to 10. Zayd Lowry knocks down his first three-point basket of the afternoon. He picked a heck of a time for it. And folks, we will take a quick break. It looks like this one might be coming down to the wire. 13:44 left in regulation. Indiana 65, Marquette 55. From the United Center on WIUX, your home for Hoosier Sports. Welcome back to the United Center. Alongside Andrew Hilsman, Nick Rodecap with you. Indiana needed a timeout, Andrew, because Marquette's Zayd Lowry made a 3 to cut the Hoosiers' lead down to 10. It seems like foul trouble is really hurting Indiana on all sides of the floor right now.
Well, it's the name of the game, Nick, and I talked about it before we went to that break. And yeah, foul trouble is fouls are a resource in college basketball. I think that is something that you really see, and it gets amplified late in the year when guys are tired and battered. But even in these big games early in seasons, this is something that Indiana cannot allow to become a trend as they get deeper into this season.
Out of the timeout for Indiana, multiple players on the floor with 3 fouls. Tucker DeVries out there with 3. Tatum Connerway has 3 as well. And so does Reed Bailey, though Bailey is on the bench, being replaced by Trent Sisley. The Hoosiers' depth is very limited, and we'll see if they can rise to the occasion this afternoon. Tucker DeVries inbounds. Indiana needs to go the length of the floor. He gets it into Tatum Connerway, who is picked up by Marquette's Nigel James. Connerway slips, has it stolen.
He stepped out of bounds, I think.
And it was either going to be
James stepped out of bounds.
It was either going to be a 2-on-1 for Marquette or a turnover. So very, very fortunate there that Nigel James could not keep his foot in bounds after he took that away.
That would have been easy points.
And it'll be a fresh 30 seconds for Indiana. DeVries out there with Wilkerson, Sisley, Alexis, and Connerway. Gets it into Connerway in the backcourt. James picks him up. Connerway stumbles across the timeline without issue. Between the rings, 20 on the timer. Connerway dribbles right, now passes it off to DeVries on the left side. He knocks down another 3. DeVries' first points of the second half. He's got a game-high 27. Indiana leads 68-55 with 13-13 left in the second. James goes to the deck, favoring his face. It looks like he tripped on his own, and that's why you hear the boos. But the referees say they got DeVries for hitting him on the arm, and that is Tucker's 4th foul.
My goodness. And if you're ever looking for a way for Marquette to get back into this game, that's it. When DeVries is on the bench, which I don't think he has been the entirety of the game, this Indiana team probably looks a lot different.
DeVries has played all 27 minutes of this game so far. He is replaced by the North Florida transfer Josiah Miles. Nigel James shooting the front end of a 1-and-1, misses. The rebound is batted into the hands of Ben Gold, and Marquette gets 20 seconds on the timer. James jump stops underneath the basket, lays it up negative. Rebound fought for and corralled by Miles, just in off the bench. Up the floor comes Wilkerson on the right side, picked up by Chase Ross. Wilkerson rejects a screen. Sisley underneath, lays it in with 2 hands. The freshman puts Indiana up 70-55 with 12:48 left in this second half. Underneath, it's James, kicks out left of center to Ross, driving all the way into the lane. He lays it in with the left hand. Ross now up to 18 points to pace all Marquette scorers. Miles gives it up to Connerway, who will slow things down.
He's tying his shoe.
Tying his shoe as he holds the ball with his forearm on his thigh.
I've never seen that before. That's funny.
Between the circles. Connerway now, I think his shoe is still untied on his right foot. Passes it off to Wilkerson. Catch and shoot 3. A long one from the right side is flush for Lamar Wilkerson. He's got 17 points on 4 of 6 3-point shooting. Ross dribbles it, 2-man game, and the ball is stolen by Josiah Miles. Hands it off Wilkerson, on the way from 3, too strong. And the rebound kicked out of bounds, last touched by Indiana. That would have blown the roof off this place, but you can tell the Indiana fans are tasting a statement non-conference victory here at the United Center.
Sure can.
And with that, we will take a breath. 11:57 in the second half. When we come back, Hoosiers lead 73-57. You're listening to Indiana Basketball on WIUX, your home for Hoosier Sports. Welcome back to the United Center. Alongside Andrew Hilsman, Nick Rodecap with you. Indiana has opened it back up. The Hoosiers leading 73-57 with 11:57 on the clock in this second half. Andrew, we were talking about it before. The Hoosiers were going to need someone besides Tucker DeVries to heat up. Lamar Wilkerson, 17 points, got the Indiana crowd back into it. It seems like Wilkerson might be that number 2 guy this afternoon.
Yeah, Wilkerson is the number 2 scoring threat, like you said, and he is starting to turn up the heat. He's a volume shooter. He's taken 14 shots, and this second half has just looked so much better. It seems like the whole team, Indiana-wise, they just can't miss from outside. They're shooting 55% from 3.
And it's important that Wilkerson picked right now to step up because Tucker DeVries, one of many Indiana players in foul trouble, he's got 4. So that put him on the bench for the first time this afternoon. Wilkerson filling in his absence very well. Marquette inbounding, moving left to right out of the timeout. They cross the timeline with Sean Jones, who bounces it off to Royce Parham, dribbling into the lane on Trent Sisley. Spinning on his right foot, he lays it high off glass, no good. Rebound batted over the end line, last touched by Indiana's Trent Sisley. Shaka Smart, the Marquette head coach, as he usually is, a couple steps onto the court, barking out instructions to his players. Parham is the trigger man, baseline right, as we see it. But before Parham triggers, Zayd Lowry goes to the bench, and Chase Ross, the Golden Eagles' leading scorer, comes back in. Parham directing traffic, lobs it inbounds to Sean Jones. Almost had it stolen by Tatum Connerway. Ross between the circles, a full head of steam, passes it into the corner, and a three ball is too strong from Adrian Stevens. Trent Sisley there to pull it down for the Hoosiers. Wilkerson out there with Sisley, Josiah Miles, Sam Alexis, and Tatum Connerway for Indiana. Wilkerson handling point guard duties right now, rejects a screen from Connerway, dribbling into the lane, lobs it to Alexis, who dunks it once again.
That connection, watch out for it all year. It's brilliant.
Chase Ross has to answer. 75-57. Ross puts it up, no good, and Indiana has a chance to push the lead to 20 or more. 11:05 left in this second half, and this one's getting away from Marquette. Connerway dribbling toward the left sideline, directing some traffic. He wants a screen from Alexis, and now Alexis backs off. 12 seconds on the play clock. Connerway's got to get something going here. Alexis can't set the screen. 7 seconds left. He kills the dribble, passes it off to Wilkerson, who makes the three. Connerway knew what he was doing all along. Wilkerson's got 20, and Indiana leads 78-57 over Marquette here at the United Center. The Hoosier fans coming to their feet. Parham dribbling in from the left side, dishes it out to Stevens. Back to Parham. Push shot from the elbow is good. And that quiets the Indiana cheers for the time being. The Hoosiers lead now cut to a measly 19 with 10:16 left in this one. Connerway across the timeline, slowing things down. Darren DeVries barking out instructions in his white quarter zip on the Indiana sideline. Connerway double-teamed. Open shooter in the corner is Sisley. He bluffs the three, drives inside. Oh, what a nifty finish! He hung in the air forever, and Captain hooked it into the basket. Parham in the lane. Here's Hamilton backing down Alexis, spinning inside and laying it in left of center. Trent Sisley does not look like a freshman at all. He looks so impressive for Indiana. 8 points off the bench to go with 3 rebounds for the Santa Claus, Indiana native. 9:36 left in this one. Indiana 80, Marquette 61. Connerway for Indiana, dribbling up top. Miles in the near corner. Overhead pass back to Connerway. 10 seconds on the play clock. Connerway looking to pass inside. He doesn't really have anybody here. He flicks it to the top for Miles. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Connerway realizes, hoists a long three, and it hits the heel, no good. Rebounded by Caden Hamilton for Marquette. Jones hastily up the floor, bounce pass outside to Ross. Up top, Hamilton. Hamilton hands back off to Jones, dribbling to the free throw line. Right side, Parham, three ball, no good. The rebound is corralled by Hamilton, who lays it back up and in on the second chance.
The offensive rebounding has been a lone bright spot for Marquette so far.
Marquette 11 offensive boards to Indiana's 7, holding a 30-26 overall advantage in the rebound category.
That's that size advantage we talked about before the game started.
Wilkerson between the circles to the far corner. Sisley hoists a three, had it blocked, gets it back. It was deflected. Wilkerson from Palos Heights knocks it down. Unbelievable, Lamar Wilkerson. He's made 6 three-point baskets, 23 points this afternoon for Wilkerson. And Indiana's back up by 20. 83-63 with 8:15 left, and now Marquette turns it over. The 13th turnover of the afternoon for the Golden Eagles. Shaka Smart, usually animated, searching for answers. He's kind of resigned over there as Indiana can taste a statement win on national television. Wholesale substitutions for the Golden Eagles as a trio of players goes to the bench. Out there for Marquette is Nigel James, along with Chase Ross, Ben Gold, Zayd Lowry, and Joshua Clark for the Golden Eagles. Indiana inbounds after the turnover into the front court. It's Connerway passing it far side to Wilkerson. Wilkerson is on fire right now. Lamar dribbling inside, baseline fadeaway, too strong. Rebound pulled down by the 6'11" Ben Gold. Up the floor quickly, a little too fast. Marquette turns it over. Miles is open on the far side. He misses everything on the three. Connerway offensive rebound, back out to Miles, steps into a mid-range, no good. Back-to-back misses for Josiah Miles. Nigel James up the floor in a hurry all the way, taking it coast to coast, and he's fouled in the act of shooting. Marquette needs something. Timeout on the floor. Nigel James will shoot 2 free throws for the Golden Eagles when we come back, but it's all Indiana right now. 83-63, the Hoosiers over Marquette with 7:40 left here on WIUX. Welcome back to the United Center. 7:40 left in this second half. Indiana leading Marquette 83-63. Alongside Andrew Hillsman, Nick Rodecap with you. Lamar Wilkerson has heated up for the Hoosiers. The Sam Houston State transfer, 23 points as Tucker DeVries went to the bench with 4 fouls. Wilkerson answered the call, and now it's up to Marquette to stage a miraculous comeback.
Well, they've got their work cut out for them, and the foul stripe gifts will help. But it's a question of how much time is available left for them to mount that comeback that they need to. There's not a lot.
After the media timeout, Nigel James shooting 1-1. Indiana with 9 team fouls. Marquette in the penalty the rest of the way. And Nigel James makes the first free throw. So James now with 8 points, 6 of which have come at the free throw line. And if he makes this second one, it'll cut Marquette's deficit back to 18. It's on the way and good. And the true freshman has 9 points, and the full court pressure applied once again by Marquette. Tucker DeVries triggers into Connor Enright, both of them playing with 4 fouls. Enright back to DeVries across the timeline, and Connor Enright, the transfer from DePaul here in Chicago, will run the point for Indiana. Matched up against James, he dribbles left. Now DeVries inside the arc on the left perimeter. Back out to Wilkerson up top. He's red hot, but misses that one off to the right. Offensive rebound for Reed Bailey. Backing down Ben Gold into the paint. Bailey spins underneath, lays it up, no good. But he was fouled by Ben Gold. So Bailey will have a chance at, believe it or not, his first 2 points of this game at the line right here.
Well, he looked great. Led the team with 21 against Alabama A&M, but he wasn't really challenged at all. Remember, Reed Bailey has also only played 7 minutes in this game because of those fouls.
Bailey had 2 early fouls in the first half and then an early foul in the second half as well. He makes the first free throw. Indiana 84, Marquette 65, 7:16 left. Tucker DeVries back to the bench as Josiah Miles comes in. Miles and Bailey out there with Lamar Wilkerson, Connor Enright, and Trent Sisley for Indiana. And for Marquette, it's Nigel James, Chase Ross, Ben Gold, Zayd Lowry, and Joshua Clark as well for the Golden Eagles. Second free throw is good for Bailey. It's 85-65, a 20-point lead for Indiana with 7:05 left. Gold hands off to James, dribbling left. Shovel pass to Lowry into the paint. Leaping floater is good. A nice finish underneath by Zayd Lowry, and it's 85-67 as Enright brings it up the floor, right to left as we see it here at the United Center. Enright pressured out near the timeline, has Bailey on the left perimeter. Bailey dribbling inside, double teamed. He puts up a hook shot and knocks it down from the left block. And 4 straight points for Reed Bailey, looking to make his mark on this game. Indiana's lead back out to 20 as they trade baskets with Marquette. Nigel James loses the handle underneath the basket, nearly traveled. Clark grabs it. There's a scrum for it with 2 players on the floor. A tie-up, and possession goes to Marquette via the arrow.
I'm surprised that it took this long for us to see Joshua Clark check into this game, the big 7'1" redshirt freshman from Virginia. But if he can spark something, and Shaka Smart has to try anything he can at this point.
Smart bringing in a couple of
now
substitutes.
He'll sit back down. Okay.
Caden Hamilton checking back in. And Clark going back to the bench, as does Ben Gold. So inbounding is Nigel James, baseline left. 16 on the shot clock. He gets it up top to Hamilton. DeVries picks him up just right of center. And they want to work a 2-man game with James. He jump stops on the right side of the lane. Underneath it goes to Parham. Parham dribbling around Reed Bailey, lost the handle, and Trent Sisley is there to pick it up. An empty possession for Marquette. the Hoosiers a chance to extend their 20-point lead with 6:07 to go. Reed Bailey, perimeter right, dribbling into the lane, almost lost it, got it back at the free throw line. Miles gets it driving inside, puts it up and in, off the back of the rim. And Josiah Miles now with 4 points off the bench for the Hoosiers.
Miles is going to end up being a really underrated pickup. Amazing body control from the North Florida former guard.
Parham dribbling right side, gets it inside the arc to Hamilton. Hamilton dribbling on Bailey, trying to get to the left baseline. Underneath the basket, loses the handle on his own, and another turnover for Marquette. It's their 15th turnover of this game.
Shocking.
Indiana +9 in that department, and Andrew, you talked about it earlier. Marquette averaged 9 turnovers a game last season. They had 9 in the first half, did the Golden Eagles. Enright drives into the lane, Sisley's all alone, and Sisley dunks with 2 hands. The Hoosiers 91-67 over Marquette with 5:13 to go. Ross into the lane, left-handed fadeaway is no good. And the rebound falls to Lamar Wilkerson. Up the floor, Sisley nearly intercepted, but Sisley grabs it. And now Bailey back up to Wilkerson at the top. Lamar with 23 points in this game, second among all scorers, and most of them in this second half. Wilkerson crosses over, dribbles into the lane, gets his defender in the air, misses the layup though. Ross comes down with the rebound. Now or never for Marquette. Ross is sent to the floor by Wilkerson as he was trying to push the pace. And that gives Marquette a breather as Wilkerson picks up his second foul of the afternoon.
Yeah, that'll also put Ross at the line for 2 shots guaranteed.
Indiana with 10 team fouls, so the Golden Eagles shooting a pair for the rest of this game. By comparison, Marquette has fouled Indiana just 4 times. So Chase Ross at the stripe for Marquette, averaging 19 points over the Golden Eagles' first 2 games, and he's got 18 so far this afternoon. First free throw is short.
Got to make your free throws, especially when you're down 24. I mean, at that point, it doesn't really matter as there's starting to see some Marquette fans head for the exits. But, gosh, this has been a really convincing performance from a team that really nobody knew a lot about.
Ross's second free throw is good, so he makes 1 of 2 at the line. Ross, 10 of 12 from the stripe in this game. Marquette, as a team, is 26 of 30. They've had their chances. The problem is they can't really score outside of the free throw line. Full court pressure as Sisley inbounds to Enright. 4:44 left in this one. Indiana has it in hand, leading 91-68. Enright jogs across the timeline to his right and rejects a screen from Tucker DeVries and throws it away sideline left. He was looking for Sisley. The ball went to Sisley's right as Trent cut to his left. So a turnover for Indiana. Across the timeline comes Nigel James, working quickly because he has to. Up top to Hamilton, fakes the handoff back to James and works on Reed Bailey inside. Now kicks back to James at the top of the key. James driving on Enright all the way to the basket, makes the layup, and will have a chance at a 3-point play.
That's the end of Enright's day as well.
Enright fouls out. That is Connor's 5th and final personal foul. He'll finish with 7 points, 2 rebounds, and 5 assists in 22 minutes. The highlight for Connor Enright's day as he exits to a nice ovation is that half-court heave he made at the end of the first 20 minutes. So Nigel James, 7 of 8 at the line already this afternoon, has a chance for 2 more here. Marquette trails Indiana, the Hoosiers 91, the Golden Eagles 70, and James completes the 3-point play. So Indiana leading by 20. This game pretty much on ice. Full court pressure applied by Marquette. DeVries gets it into Bailey, and now DeVries gives it off to Connerway, who works it across the timeline. Connerway and DeVries both on the floor with 4 fouls for Indiana. Connerway working the clock here, dribbling on the midcourt logo. 15 seconds on the timer, 4:04 on the game clock. Connerway gets a DeVries screen, dribbles perimeter right with 9 on the timer. Now he works into the paint, shot fake underneath, threw it to Bailey. It was swatted out of bounds and kicked. So it'll stay with Indiana, but with just 5 seconds on the shot clock when we come back from our final media timeout. Indiana's got it in hand, 91-71 over Marquette, 3:56 remaining. We'll finish it up when we return from the United Center on WIUX, your home for Hoosier Sports. Back here at the United Center, alongside Andrew Hillsman, Nick Rodecap with you. 3:56 on the clock. Indiana leads convincingly, 91-51. Darren DeVries looking to pick up a statement non-conference win over Shaka Smart's Golden Eagles. And Andrew, it's been Lamar Wilkerson, Tucker DeVries, and company throughout this one. Wilkerson in particular heating up in the second half.
I think Trent Sisley really deserves his flowers as well, stepping into the 5 role with Reed Bailey in foul trouble. But you're right. I mean, when DeVries and Wilkerson have the games that they have this afternoon, it's going to be very difficult for Indiana to lose a basketball game.
Connerway inbounds, baseline left out of the timeout, gets it into Sisley. Handoff to DeVries, playing with 4 personal fouls. He dribbles it off his foot and out of bounds. And that is just the 8th turnover of this game for Indiana. Marquette has committed 14. A big part of why the Golden Eagles trail by 20 with less than 4 minutes to go in this one. Nigel James rejects a screen, dribbles left of the lane on Wilkerson, falls to the floor and misses the left-handed finish. Bodies hit the deck. Indiana's got numbers running in transition. Sisley passes up a left corner 3, and instead the ball rotates to the top for Reed Bailey. Bailey puts it on the floor, dribbling right into the lane. Right-handed finish is negative, but he was fouled by the much shorter Nigel James Jr., and Bailey will go to the line with a chance for 2. Indiana's got a shot at scoring 100 points in this game.
They have a really good one, Nick, and to put up 100 points against a top 40 or top 50 KenPom team, I think that says a lot about what this team is going to do this year, especially as we get into Big Ten play.
And Shaka Smart looked upon about as favorably as any coach in college basketball as
deservedly so.
Bailey makes the first free throw, so it's 92-71. 3.5 to go in this game. Bailey playing limited minutes due to foul trouble. He's got 5 points. And the free throw number 2 is on the way, no good. And as the rebound deflected to the near side, Royce Parham sent Lamar Wilkerson to the floor, trying to box him out. There were 3 Marquette jerseys in the area there. I don't think the Golden Eagles were going to have any trouble coming away with that one. Kind of just a careless foul by Parham right there.
Yeah, and it might have been a lane violation anyway, to be honest. I saw the fist go out from the near side referee to our angle, but regardless, it doesn't really matter when the game is what it is. And I just pulled up KenPom. Indiana came into this game ranked 32nd in that computer metric. Marquette at 46th. This is a good win for Indiana.
Marquette fans have begun heading toward the exits. I think they know the writing is on the wall. Connerway inbounds baseline right, looking for Sisley. He doesn't have anybody. Gets it to Wilkerson underneath. 3 defenders collapse. Kick out to Sisley for the 3. And Indiana's got 95. The Hoosiers leading Marquette 95-71. 3 points away from matching the scoring that they hung on Alabama A&M on opening night. Nigel James in the front court gives it off to Adrian Stevens at the top. Stevens hands it off to Demarius Owens in the game for, I believe, the first time today. Owens hands it off to Michael Phillips as Shaka Smart has emptied the bench. Owens right of center, dribbling into the lane on DeVries. 6 on the shot clock. He puts up a wild shot, misses everything, clanks off the backboard. And with 2:48 to go, Indiana scores twice, and you're looking at triple digits. Connerway backs his way across the timeline. And he's picked up by Stevens on the logo at center court. 15 on the shot clock. Connerway trying to kill some time here. DeVries flashes up top, sets a screen, and Connerway gives it back to him. DeVries from way downtown. He was almost on the logo. It ricocheted off the rim, no good. And the rebound comes down to Joshua Clark. Nigel James across half court. And to the left side for Stevens. Stevens steps back into a 3 and leaves it too strong. Over the back foul called on Michael Phillips as he leapt over Tatum Connerway and sent Connerway to the floor. Marquette's outside shooting, Andrew, a real struggle.
Yeah.
4 of 16 from three-point range. And Marquette as a team struggled shooting the basketball today. 36% from the floor.
Well, when we opened up this second half, Nick, the thing that I mentioned was how much better Marquette was against Southern in the second half. It's been just as bad as it was in the first half. That sort of second half improvement has just not happened against an Indiana team that I think is going to be marked on the radar as really darn good.
Connerway makes the first free throw. That was Marquette's 7th team foul. 96-71 Indiana with 2:10 left. Both teams in the penalty. Marquette will shoot 2 free throws for every foul Indiana commits from here on out. Indiana in the 1-and-1. Connerway bends the knees, releases the second foul shot. It's negative, rebounded by Joshua Clark. Nigel James brings it up for the Golden Eagles. 125 seconds left in this game. James, left of center, crosses over on Trent Sisley, steps through the lane. A nice finish at the basket by Nigel James, getting by Trent Sisley, but at this point he's basically just playing for pride. See if Indiana can get into triple digits. Connerway taking it coast to coast, rotates it around to Lamar Wilkerson, and now it goes back out to Bailey at the top. Bailey wanted to hand off to Miles. Instead, it goes out to Connerway. 10 on the shot clock. Connerway puts it on the floor with the left hand, rejects a Bailey screen, throws a lob for Sisley, who gets in on the dunk action. We've seen a couple from Sam Alexis, and now Trent Sisley, the freshman, slams it home. The Hoosiers have scored 98 points in their first 2 games, and they might not be done yet. Right of center, Stevens bounces it down, and here we go. Marquette turns it over for the 15th time. Indiana comes away with the steal, and with the next bucket, Indiana will hit 100 points. Indiana fans making some noise. They come to their feet. Darren DeVries calls a timeout, and here come the walk-ons. I don't know that Indiana's previous 2 coaching staffs ever had the opportunity to put their walk-ons in with Indiana leading against a Power 4 non-conference opponent. But that is what Darren DeVries is doing right now. And you hear the Hoosier chants coming out. Drew Snively, the walk-on out of Zionsville, gets it in to Josiah Miles. Miles dribbling around an Ian Stevens screen into the lane, misses the layup. Indiana fans disappointed as the rebound is brought down by Marquette. 1 minute to go. Hoosiers 98-73 over Marquette. In the lane, Stevens misses a layup, and the ball careens out of bounds near the corner. It stays with Marquette.
Yeah, these fans want to see a century mark put up here.
Well, they wanted to see it against Alabama A&M on Wednesday night, and Indiana chose to dribble the clock out instead. 98 points in your first 2 games. I don't care who it's against. That's impressive. Inbounding baseline left is Nigel James. And James looking to get it into Michael Phillips. He can't, and goes perimeter right to Demarius Owens, who is sent to the deck underneath the basket. And Owens will head to the stripe to shoot 2 of the more low-leverage free throws I'm sure he's attempted in his career. And they got Trice Grinsing, the walk-on out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, for that one. Murfreesboro just outside of Nashville, where IU sports media alum Cruz Martin spends some of his time. I think he's calling the ASUN Women's Soccer Championship.
Yep. He's doing some SEC Plus Lady Vols basketball a couple days ago.
As Owens makes the first free throw, 98-74. Marquette playing for pride at this stage. Owens on the afternoon, that is his first point. He's only played 8 minutes. Bends the knees, second free throw is on the way and flush. So 98-75, and now Indiana has a chance to play for 100. Drew Snively gives it off to Trice Grinsing, the walk-on, bringing it up the floor against Nigel James, who notably is on scholarship. Snively harassed out near midcourt, gets it up to Josiah Miles between the rings. Now Trent Sisley right of center. And it goes back out to Miles. 9 on the shot clock. Indiana, understandably, bleeding a lot of time here. Miles goes to work. Dribbles between the legs. The pass deflected out of bounds. I think he was looking for Drew Snively, but a Marquette defender got his hand in there. And Indiana's now got just 3 seconds on this shot clock. 19.7 on the game clock. Hoosiers leading 98-75. Miles will inbound in front of the Indiana bench. Bounces it into Snively. 2 seconds. Snively spins, fires, and hits! The walk-on from Zionsville, Drew Snively, gives Indiana 100 points against Marquette. 100-75 as James spins into the lane and makes a layup. You hear the Hoosier fans making noise. The clock will run out. And your final from the United Center, Indiana 100, Marquette 77. Darren DeVries and the Hoosiers make a statement at the United Center and pick up a non-conference win against Shaka Smart and the Marquette Golden Eagles.
Woo-hoo! This team is fun. There's no doubting that at all, Nick. That is dominance in every facet of the game. You When you shoot 50% from the floor, you've got a good chance to win ball games. When you shoot 50% from outside, you're almost never going to lose. And that's both of those things are things that Indiana accomplished today, and they should be very happy with the way things turned out today with this roster.
Tucker DeVries and Lamar Wilkerson led the charge for the Hoosiers. DeVries had 28 points on 9 of 15 shooting. 24 of those points came in the first half. Lamar Wilkerson added 23 on 6 of 10 three-point shooting. DeVries also with 6 rebounds to pace all Indiana players. Wilkerson led the way along with Tatum Connerway with 8 assists. And for Marquette, the Golden Eagles, 19 points from Chase Ross. Ben Gold and Caden Hamilton each had 10. Nigel James with 16 off the bench. Royce Parham with 11 off the bench. But the story for Indiana, one, how it weathered the early storm with foul trouble and just ran away, leaning on its star players, Tucker DeVries and Lamar Wilkerson. This is why they came to Bloomington, to put up big numbers against tough competition like they did this afternoon.
Well, it's good individual play, but Darren DeVries deserves as much, if not more, credit for figuring out how to scheme these players and do the best job they can to get his guys in a spot to win ball games. It doesn't get much better scheme-wise against a very intelligent coach in Shaka Smart than what we just saw from IU.
Tucker DeVries named the MVP of the 2025 Waterkeeper Alliance Invitational. Your final from the historic and fabled United Center, the home of the Chicago Blackhawks and the Chicago Bulls. Indiana 100, Marquette 77. For Andrew Hilsman, I'm Nick Rodecap. Thank you so much for tuning into this presentation of Indiana men's basketball on WIUX, your home for Hoosier sports.